Right, so I'm not a massive fan of gadgets when it comes to the barbecue world. Not that I dislike them, but I'm just not really that into them. I like to keep it really, really simple when I'm cooking. But Chef's Temp, a company I've been working with for the last couple of months, sent me a new product. And for the first time in a long time, actually got me pretty excited. And that is the new Chef's Temp Pro Temp S1. So as you can probably see, this is somewhere between an analog thermometer, you know, one that you would have on a Kamado or a kettle or on an offset, but it is digital. And although I'm not massively into gadgets, this thing caught my attention because I feel like it would actually be quite practical for me. You can connect this to your phone, so you don't need to be outside reading the temperature. You can just look at your phone, make sure that your grill is ticking along nicely at the right temperature, and you can put this on any grill. If you've got a Kamado, you could take your analog temperature probe off, put this in, and you've got yourself a wireless digital temperature gauge that pairs up with your phone. And for me, I still do a lot of low and slow cooking on my Weber, but I don't have a temperature gauge on there at the moment. I never have. It's about 10 years old and I just haven't got around to doing it. And the idea that I could just set my Weber up for low and slow and not have to go outside, particularly in this winter weather, to check on the temperature and get alerted if it gets too low or get too hot appeals to me. So we'll see how this actually works in a bit, but first I need to install this into my Weber, which doesn't currently have a thermometer in it. So I'm gonna have to drill a hole. So when it comes to the positioning of this, more often than not, this is gonna be used as an indirect grill. So we wanna make sure the thermometer is on this side. So I just need to work out whereabouts I should drill my hole so I'm not disrupting the food too much. Try and work that out. So I think I'm gonna go about here. That should give me about enough space to work with when it comes to actually cooking. So somewhere there. Gonna use a little bit of gaffer tape. This should help to stop the enamel from chipping. I think it's something like that. Little pilot hole, step bit. Looking good. Ready to go. And I've already paired this with my phone. That was super easy. Connected to Wi-Fi. So let's get some meat on the Weber and see how this thing works. So we're gonna keep it really simple. I have a half chicken that's been brining in 1.5% of its own weight in salt. It's been in the fridge for a couple of days. And although this is already salted, we're gonna hit this with Fire and Smoke Society Chicken Licker Bam Bam. Probably my favorite rub at the moment for poultry. It's got a little bit of spice to it. Really, really good with chicken. I'm not gonna go too heavy. This is just for a little bit of color, a little bit of extra flavor, a little bit of spice. And then we've got a nicely seasoned and brined chicken half. So the other thing that you can do with this new thermometer is use one of the probes, the Chef's Temp probes that you may have seen me using on the Chef's Pro Temp Plus, and link these directly to the thermometer. So we could place this into our chicken and monitor the internal temperature of the chicken and be notified when it hits the right temperature. But today I'm really just interested in monitoring the temperature of the kettle itself, less so the bird. I'll just use my instant read thermometer for that. And for those of you who really like automation, the Chef's Temp Brizo is a fan that works in conjunction with the Chef's Temp Pro Temp S1. And basically you tell it what temperature you want your pit to be at, whether that be a Kamado or a Weber Smoky Mountain. And the Chef's Temp Brizo is gonna push more or less air into the coals to either spike or reduce the temps. And it is a true set and forget option. We're not gonna get this set up in this video, but we will do soon. A little bit of oak wood. And we're gonna manually dial this Weber into about 275 Fahrenheit using the vent system. And we can monitor that by the Chef's Temp. But what I'm really interested in is being able to monitor it on my phone. And that's really what got me interested in this. You can set yourself a couple of alarms. So I'm gonna set this to a low alarm of 250. And yeah, I can just sit in the comfort of my kitchen or living room and know that this is ticking along perfectly. Part of me is thinking about putting one of those thermometers on my primitive offset. You could just use a digital probe, obviously, but not having to set it up each time and being able to look at my phone to see how that offset's ticking along without having to go out there or try and see from this angle could be a good move. About 2 hours later, this chicken is done. Smells smoky, looks good, looks like a real basic, indirect cooked half chicken. And I have to say, the thermometer was useful. I had to pop out for a little bit, and I would do that anyway with my Weber because I trust it. It holds temperatures really well, but I went out, I was connected to Wi-Fi, and I was able to check the temperature from my phone. And it was really nice to be able to do that on my Weber. Obviously, you can do that on some pellet grills, and I'm sure there are other devices out there that allow you to do that. But yeah, it worked really well. Tracked my temps, Weber was set up perfectly, and produced this delicious looking chicken. And yeah, definitely nothing special about this. Just a real simple, easy cook. Everything's looking really nice and juicy. Let's cut into that breast and see how that looks. Yep, that is the breast, and look how juicy that still is. Little wing as well, pretty much fall off the bone. Gonna have to have a slice of this breast meat. That is still extremely juicy. Can't beat a little bit of hot sauce with chicken. Really, really easy cook. The chicken like a bam bam, plus the Cholula. It's pretty spicy. The humble chicken does not take a lot of effort and a lot of time to make it delicious. I make this like a couple of times a month when it's just me. Some nice, easy, low effort smoked chicken. So yeah, so far, really happy with the new Chef's Temp Pro Temp S1. It helped me in a way that I thought it might help me. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep using it. I'm gonna keep it in my Weber. I'll take it off to charge it. You saw earlier, you can just twist it and pull it and it'll come straight off. But it's weather resistant, so it can pretty much stay outside with the Weber cover over the top. And yeah, maybe watch this space because I may install one on the offset. Maybe. And I also need to get the Chef's Temp Brizo going as well. Not sure what cooker I'm gonna set that up on yet, but it's happening. So thanks very much to Chef's Temp for sending this over. If you'd like to get your own S1, you can use the code on screen and in the description box below. If you'd like anything else from Chef's Temp, you can use my personal code, and that gets you 25% off everything in the Chef's Temp store, with the exception of the S1. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks to Chef's Temp, and I'll see you next week for another video.